Today is September 27th, 2020, and we are here to discuss new player orientation for Great Works Alliance. Hello and welcome, Mary. I'm glad that you could make it. I don't hear you.
By the skin of my teeth, but I'm here.
By the skin of your teeth, but you're here. Hey, that's better than nothing, right? Well,
Absolutely.
we have done some updates, but they haven't been for the website. I did want to bring this to everyone's attention, though, that on our website, which is greatworksalliance.com, we also have a way for people to create tickets. It's in the mission section. So there's, for our new players here, we welcome you and we would like to share this information with you. If you want to become a player with Great Works Alliance, this is a portal to multiple dimensions of community involvement, collaboration, working together. And right now we're really big in focusing on open source creators and helping us to develop this platform to one that will be cross promotional for everyone and enable everyone to have a better experience both online and within their communities. So Great Works Alliance website, this is greatworksalliance.com. Great Works Alliance, inspiring and empowering the hero within. Do you have what it takes to engage in your matrix? This is not your simple golden egg hunt. Ready to be challenged? Great Works Alliance, celebrating and empowering the people through interactive, engaging, and optimizing quests and missions. We are seeking players to join our development and growth in tech community service meshing. And you can click this link if you want to know more about that. Our platform, this is what we're about. Welcome to our portal. This is a place where your questions will be answered and your passions will be ignited. We're here to talk about what Great Works Alliance is providing, and I was sharing our website for information, and unfortunately something popped up and caused the screen to go wacky. So if you give me a moment, I think I can go back to that. Have you visited the site?
Yeah, I've looked through the site a little bit.
What do you think?
It looks good. I think you guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, this is just like a slap together. I mean, if you notice at the bottom of this information on this screen, you'll see that we're using a free website builder right now, but we are currently looking for hosting. Netlify looks to be a good fit for us, and we're just looking for the proper host to work with in that CMS. And then, so, you know, when you go down here, we talk about this being a database repository. So we're building and sharing these tools to help organize people and organizations, to give guidance to those requesting assistance and directing them to the appropriate advocate. This we do because there's a lot of people out there that need help, and the advocacy is hard to come by or hard to find in their community, and there needs to be a resource hub. So here we are creating and building this resource hub, and the mission of Great Works Alliance is to build a community-centric social network, collaboration, and referral platform, enabling ease of access to community resources, extended services, and community leaders, activating the user's full potential through fun gamification, interactive engagement, and meritocracy, inspiring and empowering the hero within. Now, there's a lot going on, and we love to have more people adding their input, and we're big into open source right now. We're looking at having some of the 3D animation done through Treasure Maps creator. He's put some effort into checking in with us, and we're talking about getting him on board to do some of that. And we just want to make it a full stack of inclusive community service, community collaboration to bring people together, because right now there's just so much division in the world
Yep.
that is it's breaking down everything in society. We're seeing people acting uh, in an in, in a childlike manner when they could be acting as adults, but because they don't have the resources, the knowledge, and the information, or the ability to contact the appropriate authority and follow the proper chain of command, they haven't been given these steps. They're kind of flailing. It's really tragically. So what we're doing here is working on that, and I don't know what you have read in the information packet.
Oh, actually, I read pretty much what you sent to me about. It was like your like shared document. Read pretty much everything in that. I didn't like go super into detail with like all the legal documents and everything like that. I mean, I looked through them, but like with like the first 3 chapters, at least I read through everything pretty thoroughly, and then the rest of it, I looked at everything to see, kind of what you guys have going on. But there's a lot of stuff like the intricate details of the legal stuff. Is like I don't really understand a lot of that stuff anyway. So I guess I'm like a lot more of my mindset, like I said, is like more of like systems thinking based around like uh seeing like large overall systems and not necessarily so much of like the finite details in between. Um, so I kind of like see the way that things can fit together in a sense, like bringing people and communities together.
Right?
So, and actually, that's actually, what I'm working on right now. I've actually, uh, a month ago, I started my own group doing Zoom calls every week. And I've actually started kind of a plan where I'm working on kind of creating like a course that we can give a course that we'll give away for free, but we'll essentially teach people all this like skills of like how to connect with and relate with your environment, how to like heal your body, how like mindset training and all the different skills, like simple like relationship skills and things like that. We're putting it all into one place so that we can have a resource to give people that is like all of the foundational tools to really have like a full spectrum kind of ability to like tap in and connect with our environment and the world around us in a harmonious way. But with that, like I've brought together, different people. Like a couple people are like web designers, and one guy he's like built a lot of done course creation and things like that. So we're actually bringing in quite a lot of people that have a lot of different skills and a lot of wealth to bring to the table. And so I've been thinking about that. Like this, like I've been working, so I work like 6 days a week, and I got 2 kids and everything, so I'm constantly busy. But I've been thinking constantly about like as different people come, like how I'm looking for people that might be able to help you guys or relate, harmonize with the work that you're doing as well. Because I see what you're doing and I believe in it, and I've had ideas like I've had visions like similar to what you guys are doing, and it's like something that really gets me excited to see that. I've heard people really now to talking about like the gamification of life is getting big, but like I've not heard anybody that's really began to really implement a lot of these pieces like you guys are doing. I think it's really awesome. I think there's a lot of potential, and I think there's a lot of people that are looking to be a part of something like this right now. So I'm, you know, keeping an eye out for that as well. And I'm, you know, I want to be a part of it, and I'm just, you know, observing and taking in everything I can to get to the point where it's like I feel like I have enough and I know what to do that I can just kind of hit the ground running with it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Brandon. And I love your input. We are always encouraging everybody who is joining these meetings to participate and read the material, discuss it. If there are any questions that you have, we're happy to answer them. If there's something that you don't feel comfortable with as far as the legal documentation, which are the last 6 chapters, you know, we can talk about it and see about how we can change that so that it is more inclusive. This is all about collaboration and bringing people together and working on multiple fronts at the same time, because there's a lot of messed up things going on in our world today, and it's up to us as individuals who have this passion for life, all of life, to be involved, to come together and build in a grassroots way something that's going to last generations, that's going to help build up our families, help build up our communities, help build up the individuals within our communities. That's what we're talking about, inspiring and empowering the hero within everyone. Because, you know, we watch Marvel or other comic movies that have come out over the years, and they inspire us. I mean, it's just so amazing to see people with character traits of care and compassion and consideration. And, you know, this is a big part of what we are looking at in creating this gamification scenario, and missions that are possible and missions that seem impossible to be included. And so part of that is the meritocracy. And I would love to share with you guys some of what we've been working on. So we started with the chakra bodies, spiritual bodies, and we were also looking at connecting them with the core virtue classes. I've been working on creating badges. This is the primary badge set that I created at the beginning of the week. And this is based on their images, their icons of the VIA. So that's a college, and I can give you a link for them. They're in collaboration with Peter Seligman and who was the other author?
I forget his
Positive Psychology.
Dr. Martin Seligman and Dr. Pedersen. I don't remember his first name. It's in the paperwork that we've got in the research. I'm happy to forward it to you, Brandon. It's a really killer paper where we've been able to compile from there and other papers trying to hit on different breakout modules and how these areas are impactful, like recidivism rates or veteran care, alcoholism, and any kind of drug addiction, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What areas would this be impactful, and what are the scientific basis where it's actually been tested and implemented, and what are the levels of impact? If organizations and people that study it start at levels like that, whether it's positive psychology or not, we need that kind of information to cross-reference and compile to show these different counties and jurisdictions of any sort and intentional communities, for example, hey, we know this plan works. Who's interested? You know, and let whoever gravitate to it and rock on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's the process of, you know, just getting that first you know, proof of concept a little bit. You know, as long like every person that you bring in, if you can just share like a little piece and like even implement it into their lives and have that transformation, and then they can turn around and add it to all of their skills, it just begins to, you know, blossom. And
Right.
yeah, I definitely, that's why like when I look at like your guys' project and what I see, is like, you say, oh, it's just on this free website and all this, but I look deeper than that, and I see the potential is that, potentially, like if you start, like most businesses, the way they're top down, it's like you have one person at the top, and then they like, that person's like doing all the work, saying like, I'm going to do the network, the marketing, and like they could bring in, like, say if they're bringing in 10 people a week, they're bringing in 10 people a week. But with something like this, it's like you start off with 2 people, and then it's like you bring in and then you 2 people bring in 2 people a week, and you start averaging that, like you get the system to that point where it's streamlined enough that you're bringing in 2 people a week, and then it's like the people that come in have the ability to be kind of like awakened to the system and the understanding to where they join you at that like CEO kind of position. So then they turn around and they're doing the same thing. So it's like then they can bring in like 2 people a week themselves, and so it grows exponentially. Where like most businesses or most models of our old system don't really have that potential. So that's what I see that's exciting about it, is you guys have the understanding and the framework to actually get to that point. And yeah, I'd like to see that happen.
One of the starting points that I'm sure you've already looked at is on mission 2, and this is important mainly so that we can all be on the same page as to what kind of missions you would be interested in, what kind of what level of community participation that you're available for, and so forth. And so when you decide to become a player in our portal, and you go and you click on create my profile, it takes you to a skills, merit, and initiative evaluation form. And it's got 13 sections. They're really about your skills. What are you interested in? What are your passions? How much time do you feel you can volunteer to your goals? This is about you. It's not about us here. This is about all of us working together to get even the smallest objective accomplished, by providing resources, by providing teams, by providing collaborative support, and what is it? Referrals. Thank you. That's the core. So, anything that anyone wants to bring to the table, we are welcoming, as long as it's in the spirit of intent of improving quality of life, not only for yourself, because that's very important. We're not wanting to take away from your ability to be well and healthy. We want to be able to add to that wellness plan. And so it can be at those small goals of, oh, well, I need to go see a doctor, or I need to go see a therapist, or I need to take more walks during the week, or going even broader. Oh, well, I should probably meet with my parents once a month or something like that to say hello and let them know I still care about them. Those kind of are those minor goals, but then it can expand and broaden out into, oh, let me go to the community garden and plant some vegetables for my community. And then there's a conversation that sparks up while you're at the community garden, and you meet more of your community members. And the idea is that we need to be bridging those gaps that have been created by the political scene, the social scenes, all of these things that are derisive and divisive, and
including the economic.
Yeah, including the economics. So and COVID and whatever else they want to throw at us. We got to be stronger than that. We're smarter than that when we work together.
Yeah, definitely. So, well, when you talk about like the part of like what is the phrase that you use, like becoming the hero, or
inspiring and empowering the hero within? Yes.
Inspiring, empowering the hero within. So what exactly what exactly does that mean to you? Like does that come with like a specific like a process of helping somebody to kind of like cultivate that hero or like to become more clear about who that hero is? Is there like a process that's involved with that?
Absolutely. That process again begins with that skills and merit evaluation form, because that is taking a look at what are my abilities? What do I know how to do? Regardless of whether or not I have a certificate for it, regardless of
Mm-hmm.
whether or not I've had professional training for it, what can I do? And when you start looking at all the skills that, and we want to probably expand on what we have in the profile questionnaire, but I mean, this is just a starting point for any individual to take that step and start considering what they can do, because everybody that I've met has wanted to help in one way or another, whether they are homeless or not. And it is
Mm-hmm.
their um, acknowledgement of their own abilities that enables them to actually provide that help. When we are down on ourselves and feeling depressed, it's really difficult to recognize, hey, I know how to do these things. These things could help somebody and they can help me too. And even if inspiring and empowering the hero within just means a hero to yourself, that is quite a goal in its own right. And everybody is capable of it. That's my belief.
So when like new people are coming in and they kind of fill out this process, it's like then you would have kind of like a group of maybe like curators or something that like look through that and then like develop goals for them.
Yes,
Like
that is
so
the
yeah.
intent behind it. We're starting out, again, this is in the development stage, in the beta testing, and right now we do have a ticket system set up. I was talking about that earlier. You can go through greatworksalliance.com, or our beta test is run through coalition 4, that's the number 4, protection.org. And people click on the help desk to create ticket requests. A lot of the ticket requests we're getting through that portal right now are requests for people to help them in legal matters in family law.
Mm,
And we can expand from there. And we've had some requests come in that are requests for collaboration. um, Doing sponsorship is another way people can make a request. There's missions that people can put in specific to themselves or specific to their community, or as broad range as a big international project. And we have teams that we've already set up on OS Ticket. So let me go there. To go to the help desk specifically, which is, as I was saying, provided through Coalition for Protection, you click on this image here. This is to create tickets, check a ticket status. Um, we have some information and that's available upon request. We also have a section on our allies that we are currently with. We can also discuss any alliances that organizations wish to forge with Great Works Alliance or with the Coalition for the Protection of Children and Families. You just click on that link and it will take you to the registration form for that. We've created some forms, but again, we're in the stage of groundwork here. This is laying groundwork. We want to be able to have everything integrated into one CMS system, into have the database be as not a centralized database, So decentralizing the database a bit, but also providing for securities of information. So right now with the ticket system we have set up, if you are a team player with Great Works Alliance, through that portal, you can share information with specific individuals within Great Works Alliance, or you can do it specifically with one individual or other individuals that you are in contact with through the ticket, and nobody else sees that except for administration, which is myself, Nathan, and Forrest. So, I mean, that's what we've set up at the moment, and we are ready to expand. We're just working on getting everybody lined up with specific mission assignments for that creation.
Mm.
And hi, Mary. You have been silent, and I wanted to acknowledge that you are here. Thank you for joining us tonight.
I wanted to kick in multiple times. Is it Brandon?
Yeah, it's Brandon.
That's with us. Hi, Brandon. My name's
Hi, Mary.
Mary.
Nice
How
to
are
meet
you?
Mary? I'm good. How
Nice
are
to
you?
meet you. Yes, good. Let me take off the hat. Anyway, this is how long have you been involved with this program, or you're just stepping in, or have you really taken a good look at it?
Yeah, I've taken a good look at it. I've probably learned about it, maybe like a week and a half ago.
Oh yeah.
That was actually me, Brandon, that we're talking on Messenger.
He's ghosting his knee.
Yeah. Yeah. That was about 98% me that you were talking to.
But yes, go ahead, Mary.
Yeah, Brandon, I am an active member, and our not-for-profit organization is active. We are United Bikers. We are on Facebook since 2014, and for myself, I'm appointed with working with veterans across the nation and helping veterans, and then we have multiple different people that work with different situations: domestic violence, child abuse, trafficking, exposing pedophiles, which Phil is great at. But anyways, we have a whole bunch of different people in our United Bikers group. And what I did was I set up our page, just set it up. I didn't put anything in there really, except for one case of a veteran, to just give Nathan, Lyra, sorry, an example of the things that we go through that are sometimes difficult, can get entangled, and that is ongoing, and things like that. But I wanted to express that this is a platform with the opportunity of an outreach community. Say if you're in California and I'm in New York, we could be friends through our group, and just you could pluck me out of my group, out of United Bikers, and say, Mayor, listen, I need your help with a veteran I got that's homeless. Can you help? And of course I wouldn't deny that. And that's how this system works. So we all become brothers and sisters working together and become united as one community working throughout the United States.
And
so
beyond.
the platform is, yes, and beyond, right. The platform is phenomenal. I'm just impressed with the whole thing. Unfortunately, I've had one thing after another, and I just got my executive office set up, but nothing is in place yet. So eventually this thing is gonna, Brandon, don't underestimate that this thing is going to take off worldwide. I know it is. I know in my heart of heart it is. But just getting, there's a lot of people that know about it. There's a lot of people that's interested, but they're skeptical about getting into something new or educating themselves on that something. It's almost like an elderly trying to learn new computerized technology. You know, they want to stick
iPhones.
with the flip phone. Yeah, they want to stick with the flip phone and not go any further. But there's very much intelligent people on board with this. But
They
it's
just
going to
can't
take
always
off
be
like
here.
wildfire. And like I explained to everybody, it's a community house that Lyra and Nate set up, Nathan. And who's the other fella? I keep
Forrest
forgetting.
is one of our board members, and then we also have a licensed psychologist. His name is Scott Tobbold. He was going to try to make it tonight. He's got a lot on his plate, so
Yeah,
but we do
I can
all
understand that.
communicate and work together, and it's just about stacking each of these different projects, like your project, Brandon, on top of Mary's projects and organizations, on top of Civil X, and then just stacking them up as we go in one central location, without the chatter, without the
And going worldwide,
yeah.
you know,
But we're
staying in
talking about
place.
trying to not have the bickering and stuff that so
Right.
what this platform
There's
is
no drama.
not it's not a Facebook, and some people get confused when we talk about this. They're like, oh, so I just sign in and I'll get notifications, but no, this is more interactive than that. This does require that the players pay attention to the missions that are presented. They'll be published um, on the ticket site, and then we publish public missions on the website, and then we also have email messages when you are, say, included in a team that a ticket request has come to be directed to. You would get an email because you've signed up with OS Ticket through our portal
as it stands right now.
as it stands right now.
Yeah.
So this is where we're at. We would love to have it easier for people to access, and in the future, that's where we're headed. We're also headed into virtual reality and augmented reality scenarios, so it's exciting.
Yeah. But I am very confident in this program. I think it's brilliant. I've been saying this all along to everybody that I talk to. And the most thing that interests me is the unification. There's people out like me that's been single for 14 years and that needs somebody and needs the support and the edification and the lift me up when I'm just overworked. No, I don't care about pay. But overworked and underfed, and that's my own doing. I got food. But anyways, it's a very good support system, and this support system can go from Egypt to New York to California to wherever it needs to go. When you do that ticket number with somebody in need, there's going to be people that look at that ticket number and say, hey, I can help. That's my expertise. That's what I could do to help. And when this really jumps off, that one ticket number is going to, have multiple people that see that ticket number and say, I could do this. And that's how we can join and become connected, is because we all work as a team on getting that resolved,
And when one team or individual who has a ticket has an issue that they cannot resolve themselves, they can access resources and other teams through the portal, and can even create their own ticket requests going to another specific individual or a team. And what we are envisioning for the future for our players is the ability to have something like this on their profile page that is a public page we're developing, where there's a public page and then there's individuals and teams that are linked that people can click on to get more information and have a personalized view. So these are some of the examples that we're looking at putting into play here, with of course a little more
No, I definitely get
community
it. It's awesome.
minded, you know, scenarios and
Yeah, it's like a superhero database.
right.
Yeah, the idea is to
Absolutely.
focus
You
on
just nailed it.
to focus on what is human, what expands from human to humanity, like the averages, what's the ballast of what we are in our spirit as a people. It doesn't matter where you are, you know, and then it segments out into the diverse cultures, different levels of diversity, just narrowing out into those different branches like in a tree, but we're all human. We're all that main trunk of the tree, you know, and um, when there's a discrepancy, okay, that's a split in the branch. It goes into a vein.
Branching
Okay?
out. I was just going to say
A constant sorting, and it's also self vetting, a perpetual vetting throughout the process of, you know, without trying to avoid, consciously avoid any kind of detriment to any one party,
right.
because that is autonomy, and that's what we fully embrace. Is
Mhm.
we're all very special with amazing potentials, though we're not robots and we're not singular in dimension. We're very dynamic individuals on a very unique basis. Doesn't matter what your pigmentation is, your height, your gender, where you
Yeah,
came from. It doesn't matter.
How were you raised by wolves?
It's like
just get the job done.
I love Transformers.
It's like, you know, you guys got a good example of the tree, because it does remind me the tree of life.
Right.
You know, that
it does.
tree
We
comes
see
up
it
as a
in,
tree, branches out, and what's it do? It grows fruit or it dies.
it does. That is what we've been able to observe with scientific principles in our universe. That it's how uh, forests pattern out. It's how people grow. It's the way plants grow. All biology follows, and even beyond biology and into matter and states of energy, it all follows the same principles. And what we want to do is be able to identify them, so then we can go, oh, that's how it works. Does it really work for me? Let's test it out. Okay, well, it doesn't work for me, but I can see that it works for them. That's because of what? Some sort of divergence. That is a difference between you and someone else, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what makes you
Unique.
exactly. And it's up to that person to gain that level of superiority of merit. No one is equal to another in reality. We all have
Right.
amazing and probably
Abilities.
near equal potential, yet no one's George Foreman but George Foreman, right? No one's Razor Ruddock but Razor Ruddock. What about Jackie Chan? What about, you know, Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla? You can don't go on down the list. Everybody has made their own choices on what to capitalize on and what not to. And that it's not just the benefit that comes to them, but there's a lot of repercussions for those choices, whether they're
Absolutely.
choices or not. And we can see this every day by looking at children. How do they learn to walk?
I will share that whole spreadsheet with you, Brandon. There's a lot of information in there, and we are adding to it and asking collaborators to help with the organization and adding to it. I also wanted to share just briefly some of what I've been working on for those badges that I showed the precursory of. This is how the meritocracy is developing that
Wow.
we have been working on. So there's a lot of different. Where are all the octagons?
Maybe in a different folder.
There's one here. Here's one. I'm going to open this one. This is one that I've completed. It's got our watermark on it for Great Works Alliance. I just completed this one today. And this one is the Prudence Badge. So, you know, we're talking about sense making here as well and using critical thinking skills. And, you know, you talk about how you've got some people working on some courses for healing and health, right, Brandon?
Mhm.
And they're then you have web designers that are working on developing websites to provide this information. Is that correct?
Well, so right now we're kind of in the phase of just getting everybody on the same page. So I've been doing a lot of like like vision development and like different things like that, and finding like the common like finding the common pieces. Like everybody in the group, like everybody like say they share their vision, and I can look at it and say like, look, we have all of these different things in common. So it's like if we all build this together, we can all use it as a springboard into other things that make us unique. But at the root of it all, it's like we could start with like the very vague but like non-negotiable things, like, hey, first of all, like I'm trying to have a harmonious world with equality, with sustainability and different things like this. Like none of these are negotiable. And like if
Right.
if we're seeking, like for most people that are seeking love and peace in the world, like that's common across the board. So it's like if basically we're clarifying these things as a group to say like, look, we are all working on all of this together. So how can we, create a video that reaches out to people and says we're all working on these things together, and then that's going to be like, okay, do you relate to this vision? And then we're at a piece at a time, and then share that out. And then when that pulls in new people, then we start a new wave and say, okay, now we're getting a little more defined on our vision, and saying like these are the new things that are like crystallizing that container, and saying like these are non-negotiable. And it's like, if so, then that's giving us kind of a filter to say if like people butt up against that and they don't resonate, so then that's telling us like either there's something that needs to be looked at within our vision, or there's something within this person that needs to be healed. So that's creates the polarity. And so we're just working in that way, increasing the magnetism, increasing the clarity of the vision, and just trying to bring in people that have those skills. And we're not necessarily saying like we're going to do this and this, but we're saying like these are the kind of the containers and the options that we have that could create a sort of value ladder to work our way up to creating communities and an infrastructure and different things like that. So I'm trying to do it like where a lot of things that I've seen is like people come up with a vision and they try to find the people to fill the places. I'm trying to find the people that have a passion so that together we can create a vision, and then together like just have that springboard and launch ourselves in the direction that we feel passionate about.
Right.
So
And I'm sure
And
you've
Brandon,
seen,
oh, sorry.
Brandon, I'm sure you've seen the difference where like someone's level of education can pose a problem with comprehension between equality and equity.
mhm.
And so bridging that gap is something that we've identified as really important. And
Yeah.
that's kind of like why we tend to go with the area of potential and self-sovereignty, because that's entirely up to them. And if they want that level of equality, some sort of bar of measure that they are wanting to attain, it's up to you, man. Just
Yep.
do it. You know, yes, the more freely accessible, widely accessible um, information is, the better for everybody. We should all have something close to equal education. Yet it's up to the people, all the participants from the top down, inside and out, to make it that. And then on top of that, not just make it there, but keep it, maintain it, sustain it, and have it grow. So you're not at a plateau level of, okay, well, we've got a 19th century level of education, but now we're in the 22nd century. Like, what's going on? Which is what we've seen with government, essentially. They're
Yep.
not up to par. They keep filling the gaps of these positions that are supposed to be spearheading these initiatives for growth and prosperity of their own constituents. That's why they're there.
They're plugging it. So
But they're not.
It's
they're
not
they're
doing anything.
massively deficient in their own objective, and it's band-aid after band-aid after band-aid, and all we see is throughout society everything is continuing to go down.
Yep.
And we here don't talk politics. We talk communities. This is about community building. And some people misunderstand that in the context of, like, yes, we do need to be talking about policies. Yes, we do need to be talking about change on a legislative level. There are tools at our disposal, even as a nonprofit, to do this without getting involved with politics. Politics itself is a mess. Everything turns to poo. I believe I said that earlier today to someone who thought I was a Trump supporter. I'm like, I'm not getting involved in that. I'm talking about communities here. I want, us to be focusing on what can you do in your hometown to make things better for your community members. You're a part of a community. They want everybody to be hiding in their houses because of COVID. Today, this morning, we just heard a recording from the CDC saying, if you're
Fraud.
basically it's fraud.
Willful fraud.
If you're in your 50s, you might be at higher risk. And we suggest that you just be more cautious and don't congregate.
And focus on the specifics of what you should do in your local area, yet their local area is deferring back to them, and it just keeps getting juggled back and forth without, hey, how about you go to the medical journals, talk to your local doctors, and stick with the science and go from there. If you notice any deviations, that's fine. Get the data,
Yeah, don't become enslaved.
Jumping to conclusions and fear mongering is not healthy for anybody.
No.
Yeah. And gives the power back to that 1% or that 0.1%, depending on what you're looking at. And that does not serve anybody but them. And
that's what I tell
right.
people, like, too. That's what I tell people, like, everything that I'm trying to build is like, I'm not trying to go to war with the 1%, but I'm trying to create a better vehicle that they can still be happy and satisfied and all these things, and like have an option of a better vehicle to step into and ride away as a community. It's like, if we treat them as a virus, history is going to continue to repeat itself over and over and over. But if we create a system where they don't have to fear for it's like, if I don't, like, because a lot of it comes from like the fear, like, if I don't have control, then like the world, like, I don't have any say in what's happening. All of these things are going to happen, global warming, all these, like, a lot of people fear that stuff and want to have massive control and power. But if we create a system where people realize that they have more power by giving everyone power and more potential and more, and they have the ability to receive more of that oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins through love and connection, like, the most hedonistic thing they can do is take that choice every time.
Yes.
I agree.
So what
the first thing.
Go ahead, Mary.
Sorry, go ahead.
No.
The first and foremost is you have to get spiritually cleansed and have your whole inner soul and mind organized and precise, with nothing to fear, nothing. Prepare. That's all I keep expressing to people. Prepare. And I'm working with individuals now on teaching them how to can, how to do things, and all that stuff that doesn't even have a clue to how to prepare with heat, cooling, food, water, medical supplies, things like that. And instead they're sitting at home doing this. What am I going to do when it all goes down? What am I going to do? Get your ass up off the couch and do it.
Yep.
You know?
Brandon, you
But,
were in the military. What do you do when
yeah,
a bullet starts firing at you or whizzing by? What are you
Take
trained to
cover.
do?
What am I trying to do? Take cover, assess the situation,
Yeah.
you know, look for, you know, obviously first thing, look
Survive.
for cover. Yeah. Yeah.
Survive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what
don't fear
happens
nothing.
when the bullets are flying everywhere and there is no place to hide? What do we do then?
Shoot back.
How do we fight back? We have to fight back as unified, because if you're just one individual, I'm not Wonder Woman. So I can't go and be the shield in that battlefild while the troops are going around trying to stop the enemy from destroying us and destroying the civilians on the other side. So, it's like, but if I have a team of heroes alongside of me that have their own shields, they're equipped with their own, whether it's knowledge of legal merit, or whether it's first aid, um, healing, and say mental health support, etc. All these things, all of that makes this shield that's going to deflect those bullets.
Actually,
Right.
it's closer to
You
an
got to have the
assassin team.
armor. Not only you got to have the armor of God, but for
well,
me,
I mean, even if
but the
it's
people, you have to have the army. If you don't have the army, you don't have the protection. You got to have your brothers and sisters ready to stand on the front line and fall until fight till you die. You know.
Well, you
If
have
you
to be
what
able to
you
vibe
believe in
together.
is
You have to have
that's
an earned level of camaraderie and trust
yeah,
in order
that's
to
right.
keep yourself, to step out of the shadows or in the corner or from under the rock and go, I can't do this all myself. It's all overwhelming. But once you realize you got people around you that got your back,
You're
you're
braver.
good.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
good. You're a whole lot more confident and you're a whole lot more capable just because of that mindset of accomplishing things that you didn't think that you could.
Well,
Most
it's just
people
like
have
these.
so much more potential than they realize. It's actually quite pathetic.
You
But
know,
we
just
benefit from
yes,
this healthy
Nate.
way to help provide that and encourage that to foster and grow.
Right.
Yep. It's a powerful incentive.
Yes. Very brilliant people here. I got to say that myself. But it reminds me of these punks that are going out and starting America on fire. They don't become brave until they're in a group, but get them one-on-one in a back alleyway and they bow down and cry and beg for their life. You know what I'm saying? But they're nothing when they stand alone. But when they're gathered, they want to attack people, start things on fire and stuff like that. That's when they're brave. Well, we gotta rise that army the same way they did, except for they got a 20-year jump on us of all the corruption they were doing in the background without us knowing it. We were sleeping, So now we're wide awake. Now we're forming our army. We're prepping for. I'm already prepped, but I'm ready for anything. And I do have my army, so I have my protection. I got anything and everything that I'm gonna possibly need, and that is, bringing it to Great Works Alliance. Is basically forming a family that is worldwide, that knows that somebody's got your back. You got a brother or a sister somewhere that has the resources to travel to you, to back you. You know what I'm saying? Is not all talk and is of action and has that background to prove it, And we're all survivors, every single one of us. And none of us is on a level, nobody's higher or lower than anybody else. we've all gone through our trials. We've all gone through different levels, but the same exact line, you know, whether it be good or bad, we've all survived and we're still here to talk about it. And which has strengthened us in our heart, spirit, soul, and mind and body to be able to stand up and fight the resistance, you know, bring it on, you know?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
with you.
So, you know, it's a family affair.
And it's
Yep.
the family of the human race, and this is one thing we're very clear about. We have no division here. There's no difference if you have your skin is black or white or yellow or olive.
We're
um,
human beings.
we're human beings, and there's really
That's
one
it.
race here, and this is about supporting the entirety of the human race instead of what we've seen so much of, which is this division. It's all, as far as the politicians are concerned, it's all about dividing and conquering. No, the red's right. No, the blue's right. No, wait a minute, you're a scumbag. No, you're a pedophile. When the truth of the matter is that there's bad on both sides, there's good on both sides, and we as community builders recognize that there is the potentiality of backstabbing, there's the potentiality of stealing of information, and we are aware that that's potentiality is there, but believe that there are enough of those of us out there that are awake and ready to
Watchmen.
join together in a collaborative environment that builds everyone up so that
Yeah.
we have sustainable life for all life on this planet. You know, I hear all lives matter, children's lives matter, black lives matter, et cetera, et cetera. And my statement really is, well, other people's lives matter, number one, and all life on this planet matters, because if, you know, the balance is tipped to the wrong direction, we're all SOL.
Right.
Really, I mean,
Right.
that is a
Whether
truth.
it be animals, whatever's breathing is valuable. And that's
And
life. If it's a plant or an animal or a human, you know.
that's a truth that we can take and say, all right, well, we have two options. We can either sit on the sidelines as the world continues being polluted and we continue buying the chemicals and everything and allowing this to happen, enabling this to continue being the way that civilization lives, or we can make conscious choices and decisions about whether or not we're buying from China or whether or not we're buying from any other country for that matter, because of the amount of gas that it takes for transportation, the amount, what are the labor laws in another country, for example. You know, this is about consideration, cooperation, care, collaboration, and creation of, you know, a better community world, not just a community environment.
Hmm.
I think that that's our only choice really in the matter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is too, with like, the bottom up approach, it's like we begin to make that network. And once it becomes so many people, it's like any other kind of governing body in the area, like they can't help, they have no choice but to listen, because all of the people are united in their own way, and the messages being inundated from this can't penetrate that anymore. And so if we could do that in more than just the United States and connect that in other countries, then we actually have the power and the potential to rise up. And like with dictatorships and everything like that, they don't have, like, their own people are going to be backed by the people of multiple other countries, and it'll be a network throughout the world that, as that saturates and rises up, the governments, which are less than 0.01% of the world, will have no merit anymore.
Right?
It's
Instead of
really
them
the
infiltrating our intelligence, we'll be, well, it's already happening. the Chinese are sharing information with the Americans and letting them know how corrupt the dictatorship is in China because they're sick of it. Many countries of those people are coming forward because they're sick of it. They're tired of it. And now they see the United States in despair. And we're like the last hope throughout the whole world for them to see the destruction in America. You really have to bring them back and edify them and tell them, listen, it's not going to be like this. We got patriots, we got veterans, we got, you know, whoever we got.
We got bikers.
That's right. You don't want to come to my neighborhood, man. This is a small town. They already tried it once, and no, you're not welcome. You know, you line the outer, the outer limits, and you hold your line. You know, and when they see that, when you go to war, it's like this. When you go to war and you got enemies shooting at you, you ain't gonna worry about the next man being black, white, yellow, or purple. You know what I'm saying? Got my back,
Yeah.
you don't, it's just like that. You're a brother in arms, and that's the way it is, sister in arms, whatever. But anyways, yeah. So, none of that matters to me. What does matter to me is the unification, the honesty. The honesty is the number one thing with me. If you're not honest and you're not going to bring truth to the table, and you got any kind of bullshit that comes with you, man, I'm going to flip a lid, because I don't like wasted time. I don't like wasted energy. I'm here to do a job, get in, get out, and move along, because like I always tell you, where there's one that I take care of, there's 3 that's waiting in line, 10 that's waiting in line. I don't have time to pussyfoot around with an asshole, basically,
Right.
I hear you.
So I will definitely be checking the box. This content is not for children when I share this on YouTube.
Oh, I am so sorry, Lyra.
It's okay. The idea here is there's so much seriousness going on in the world today. Everybody feels like, what's the point of a game? There's just so much that needs to be changed right now, and all this stuff. But we need to be bringing back the joy. The joy of life is what inspires the beauty and in community and the collaboration and the ability to create something that's going to last for decades and generations. And so we want you to engage in this game with us, Brandon. Bring your joy, bring your passion. Anybody else who wants to join us, we encourage you to go to greatworksalliance.com and follow the mission steps. So we have 6 missions, and you, Brandon, are in that first mission step. If when I had it recording earlier, I had the video on, but I'm sure that you've seen that video that we have at the beginning for the empowerment.
Mhm.
That is our invitation. And now I do understand that it doesn't really explain what Great Works Alliance is in that video, but
It's not supposed to.
Yeah, I would have went through the process, but honestly, I didn't know that the site was like functional yet. I thought you were just like showing me like the framework that you had. I didn't know that it was something I could actually begin to like fill out and all that. So.
Oh yeah.
No, it's up
click
and
on
running.
all the links to get the most broad comprehension of what we've got laid out so far.
Okay.
What are your thoughts, you and your team that you're putting together? What are your thoughts on like neurological biomechanics?
Like that stuff that like Tesla's making about like implanting the thing in the brain. But
Maybe
like,
from like a visual perspective.
From a what?
Like from a visual perspective, creative visuals, graphics.
not implanting.
Yeah.
Not implanting. We're talking like VR type.
No.
I can actually
That's pretty
relate
good,
to
but-
Brandon because the Tesla, when he said the Tesla, I've been into studying about this for a while. But the Tesla is a vibration and it can create music and things like that that keeps the mind level. It can also enhance the neurology system. It's got a lot of benefits to the Tesla machine. So actually, me and Ramona are in discussion about it.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, there is a lot of benefits with the Tesla machine. I think we lost Brandon, but
No, I'm
No,
still here.
oh, yeah, but it protects you, it enhances you, it enhances your health, your mindset. There's a lot of benefits to the Tesla machine, you know, which we're trying to create one ourselves, but
Well,
beyond them.
oh yeah, it's like I think it's like a Rife machine, like the vibrations. Yeah, but so wait, what do you mean exactly by biomechanics? Like actual just functioning of the brain? Um,
Okay,
like
so
I was thinking,
if
I
you
was thinking of like biomechanics is like like the mechanics, like putting mechanical things in your, like bioarchitecture is like the integration of architecture and knowledge.
a
I
little
was
bit,
thinking something like
a
that.
little bit. Okay, take the
Oh,
biology of us, looking at like say our neurology,
Hmm.
and mechanize it like it's a transformer for a visual perspective or lens. Okay, so we've got mechanical items coming that are working together in our neurology. So what if you took a neural node at the synapse, and then you saw that diagram that was kind of like a wheel showing the
Yeah.
character traits? Okay, so if you were to do each of those sections is like, say you've got 6 to 8 core node cylinders just going around, right? And you've got, okay, your synapse, head, and then you've got a few of them coming out as like a cylinder. Each one have a different chakra color, and they all have a different frequency.
Mhm.
We already know that this is how it operates anyway on an electrochemical basis. So they
right.
come out like a mechanics, like pistons coming out of a cylinder, and then it fires off like a spark plug.
Okay.
According to each of those that you're hitting, if you're hitting humility or uh, creativity or bravery or whatever, right? And get that correlated with actual neurological mapping and have an overlay, give us some creative license, and have it come out. It would almost be like a transformer thing with the Allspark.
Mhm.
So there's a
So,
correlation between transformers that we could do with people in showing how they are relatable, and it is able for us as humans to attain that level of heroship that we envision through that lens, and then that
okay.
could cross correlate over into other types of genres too,
Yeah.
like
So
Voltron.
actually, a lot. Yeah, a lot of my friend just shared a video of Voltron
Yeah,
today in our group. So
like
it's
I'm
pretty
a
funny.
hand or a leg or a foot, and everybody else
Yeah.
in the team is another component, and all together we make this massive badass with a united spirit for, hey, we're not going to take any shit. We're going to make things great things happen, and we're here to work together. What do you want to do?
Hmm.
We could go team up as 5 different Voltrons to go ahead and work on this eco farm, in an intentional community or something like that. We could all get really creative within our own skill sets. All we got to do is link them up together and make it relatable from one point to another point to another point. And we've got this whole world that everybody can relate to that
Yep.
hasn't really been done.
So yeah, so basically, what I was like talking a little bit about this to my group today is a lot of the system that we're building plays on this to a huge degree, and so um, basically, we're setting up a program that brings you through a process that is about your connection to the world, which relates to the root chakra, your connection to your physical body, and that relates to your sacral chakra, your personal, your will and your intention relates to the solar plexus, and then your connection to other people is the heart, your ability to communicate is the throat. And then we split the left and the right hemispheres of the brain into two, which is creativity and focus. And then the crown chakra relates to like divine intervention, communion, and different things like that. So by connecting all of these together and having one unified vision that everything branches out of, and you see the way everything fits into the vision, it centralizes the synapses of your brain, neurons that fire together, wire together. So we're, in a sense, using these systems to create a mind map that plugs all of your experience into a system that begins to centralize itself within the corpus callosum of the brain, which is the bridge between the right and the left hemispheres of the brain. So when we're centralizing the neuronal bundles that are firing together in our brain within the corpus callosum houses the pineal gland and the pituitary gland. And then so when those fire together, it radiates more like a sun. It creates like a radiance, like glowing off of that. And that
Supernova.
that electromagnetic force stimulates the pineal and the pituitary gland, which is like what the Taoists talk about, like the golden pill and stuff, where that that energy saturates the pituitary gland and it secretes a hormone in the body that brings about like cell regeneration. And then the stimulation of the pituitary gland increases everything, like your ability to focus, your ability to connect ideas together, all of these different things. So it really creates just an exponential rippling outward of
Yeah, it's like a tuning
potential.
fork, and you want to hit it at that right frequency where it just sings and then perpetuates like a
Yep.
perpetual motion machine.
Yeah, so that's a lot of what the kind of like the foundations of the course we're working on building, is creating like a step-by-step process to really hone people, like to turn people into superheroes, like in a sense.
Yeah.
So like that's a lot, like what we're doing, it kind of goes hand in hand, as and kind of what we were doing is like kind of like a training regime to get people to that point and send them out into missions.
Right. Right. This is awesome. We're all thinking the same stuff from different perspectives. And like the frequencies that Mary was talking about, that's binaural beats.
Yeah, oh
Binaural
yeah, binaural
frequencies.
beats.
Yeah. And
Okay,
it's
yeah, I was thinking of
that
like
tuning
Reich
fork.
machines.
It's hitting that tuning fork. And we've been doing the same thing that you and your team have been directing towards. And that's with the Meritus badging system, in correlating these different factors. Like right here, we've got a bunch of the work done.
Hold on. Let me share. First, I had to open it to the right page.
Well, like right here, we've done a lot of that work already with quantitative analysis to support it. Unless that's the big problem that we've noticed, is a lot of these organizations just want to be all foofy and fluffy and, hey, I'm being creative and this is how the world works. Where's your data? How can you quantify this? Has anybody researched on it? Have there been any studies? That is where we're starting from to build out these correlations in different layers and levels. Is it valid in current mainstream medicine? Even though most of us that know about medicine know that mainstream medicine is a band-aid. It's let's plug this with a cork, but not fix the actual problem. It's
Yep.
treatment of the symptoms and not the core afflictions or whatever the triggers are. Like, you don't get cancer, you become exposed because of your environmental variables to
And your
have
mind.
to have that genome triggered to become activated, and everything after that dictates how it's going to continue to malform.
What I have put in the chat here is the link for that document, the Excel document that I've been sharing with you, so that you can take time to review it further. Anything you see that is amiss, please, we are looking for input. We need help in these correlations. It's mainly been myself and Nathan, and we're doing the best we can with what limited resources we have right now. Speaking of which, I have one bar on the battery right now, and it says I have 22 minutes. We're not plugged in because Starbucks is no longer open, and so we can't be using a public area, and our current living situation does not allow. But I think that we've gotten on a good foot here in learning more about what you're interested in, Brandon, and we hope that you will take the time to fill out that skills and merit evaluation. Let us know what you think of it. What if there's something missing, we'd love to know. We kept it pretty broad because you could say you're in health and fitness, but there are so many different branches and abilities within just health and fitness, and so we don't ask for all of that information to begin with. That's where we get to know you. That's why we have these orientation meetings on Sundays, to know our players, who we're collaborating with and working with, so that we can help encourage you. And we are happy to have your input and anything.
Okay.
As well,
so you guys, you're doing this every Sunday?
Yes.
For the introductory meetings, we can also do a scheduled meeting with you, or you and your team, anytime you like.
Okay. So I mean, can I just join you guys every Sunday, or are you just only doing people that are time?
Absolutely. You are
welcome.
welcome.
I plan on that. I mean, I'm like, so right now, I mean, I could share this video with my group. And then say, ask them, is there, at this point, do any of you have anything that you specifically feel called to like join in with this? And if they do, then I'll just have them join in. And then other than that, I'll begin like looking for different ways that I can build bridges to kind of like merge our systems together. Because I feel like everybody's got a lot on their plates in my group right now, and they're really trying to find their place and everything. So, but I do have it in my heart to seek out ways that I can bring our stuff together without sending anyone off the deep end with too much stuff.
Right. Don't overload anybody. We don't want that.
Yeah. We're all overloaded now. And it's a good point, Brandon, that all of us feel like we're overwhelmed, overloaded. We got a lot of work on our plates, and we're banging our head against one drop of water in a big, huge built-in swimming pool, when we could get involved in this and be swimming in a beach, in a lake, in an ocean, full of people, So
overlapping of teams within their specialties. Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, within all those different various specialties, we all got different harmonics. Everybody's at a different level. Everybody's got different levels of aptitude, different leadership styles. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a one size fits all thing, because that's not how the world operates.
And that's not how we operate either.
It reminds me of a musical band, musicians. One plays the violin, the other one plays the trumpet, the other one does the drums. Everybody's got their own beat. They got their own pace. They got their own style of music. And bringing it together, what's it make? A band.
Right. That's right. Beautiful music.
That's why when I was in band, we had jazz sessions and jam sessions.
Yeah.
I was in a number of different kinds of bands. Freaking, I don't know why anyone wouldn't love jazz band.
I love jazz.
That's like the heart of it, and that was brought over into other styles like concert bands and stuff like that I was part of. is, you know, you got to be able to vent some of that creativity and not just do it solo, but do it with others and have everybody be on the same page of, hey, it's okay if it isn't perfect, if it doesn't perfectly flow. It's because we're all trying to get things expressed and find a harmony where at the next level we'll go, okay, we like this, we like that, we like this, let's run with it and see what happens next. There's still no lock into this is how it has to be right now. That's like the overzealous corrupt end of capitalism, where it's all dictatorship, where it turns into absolute abuse, and it's not cohesive, it's not based in mutual reciprocity, where it's a benefit for everybody that's involved.
Yep.
That,
Yeah, I'm right
that's
there with you,
not
man.
how we do things. We go with the flow and how we know that it works, and we want to keep our eyes and ears open for anything that we aren't aware of that works, that may, or there's an indicator that it might. Let's go explore that.
Yeah. What I'm finding now is that I know you guys are short limited, but that it's never ending work with me. You know, it's on and on and on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely got to get in there and set up and get Pam. You know, me and Pam have been talking about this, and although we decided that we got a both lot on our plates, both of us, it was my initiative. Right now, I'm just bogged down with things, but you know, to come in as a team, we really got to buckle down and do it, because without this help, you know, I'm physically exhausted, to tell you the truth. I'll go on mentally and mentally and mentally, but physical, I'm tired. You know, it's days up and work hard and, you know, no rest and no sleep. And that's no good. That's a rundown system that'll kill you, you
That's
know?
true.
So you don't want that, you know, and I've been working like this for 20, 30 years, 30 years, you know? So anyway,
Thank you for joining us. I am sorry that I have to cut this short. We're about to shut off automatically here, and I want to make sure that I get this recording saved somehow.
you just went
But
dark.
it's so wonderful to meet you, Brandon, in person, as we are, and we look forward to talking with you next Sunday.
All right, thank you guys. It's
And
nice
before.
to meet you all. Yep.
Nice
Yeah, y'all
meeting
have a
you,
good night.
Brandon.
You as well,
Yes.
Have a
Mary.
great evening.
So,
God
peace, well.
bless.
Take care. God
Be
bless.
well.